This is constructive criticism about the Capture the Idris mission from an optimist in the CIG community, maybe the biggest optimist of the PU. So just keep that in mind. I come from a place of kindness, but this is what players are seeing. So the community was given between February 23rd and 27th the objective to capture the Idris, and they were going to be piloted by CIG devs and NPCs, so AI. And we're basically no one's seeing them is the problem. And I've been stalking many, many servers since last night and across all the clusters across the entire world. And I can confidently say very few are even getting a single attempt at the Idris. And I'll explain why very quickly right here. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to my subscribers. Okay, so the Idris is crashing. The AI is physically crashing the ship into the planetary bodies that it is basically spawning at. And that means that the only ones that are getting out, or at least the vast majority of the ones that are getting out, have to be piloted by a CIG member. So a CIG dev or a community lead, etc., has to spawn the thing and be piloting it for it to operate at all. So it can be partially AI ran, but you still need a human being to be operating it, and it has to be a CIG person. This is a major problem because the idea was that these were supposed to be spawning everywhere, plentiful amounts of these Idrises, and they were supposed to be vastly majority of them be spawned as AI. Now, the few that are spawning that aren't just crashing immediately are getting rammed to death by players within the first couple minutes of them in existence. So no one is able to board these things. As I speak, and I've not just gone onto all the different servers and chatted with a bunch of people, none of the streamers that everybody said were going to be able to get these things, and the only ones that were going to get it, none of the video makers or content creators are able to get their hands on this Idris. And that's a good and a bad thing. And it seems like these people that are griefing the few Idrises that are piloted by CIG staff are because of a uproar in the community about the events that benefit streamers. Now, you're probably scratching your head going, wait a minute, I thought you just said there's these Idrises are spawning and this is a new in-game event, etc., etc. Why would that have any impact on streamers or big orgs, etc., and content creators? And the reason for that is because alongside this event's launch, Jake Acapella put up on Spectrum a Capture the Idris video contest. However, it's not just a video contest, and I'll explain. There's a couple prizes that are pretty amazing. And the first place is an Idris-M with LTI, of course, because it's over 1,000. The second place is an Aegis Redeemer, which is a great prize with LTI. And then third place is Aegis Gladius with LTI, and they all come with game packages. However, there was when you read the actual in the weeds papers there's more ways to win. We're also giving away the same set of prizes to the daring citizens who managed to get in the pilot seat of the mission's Idris-M for the longest amount of time during the event. This means there's value in boarding the ship and taking control rather than simply destructing it. At the end of the event, we'll calculate which pilots reign supreme. Must be the person controlling the ship. So only one person can win an Idris-M from in-game actions that aren't a video that's created, a 10-second, TikTok or YouTube short style video that CIG picks. That's funny or entertaining or thrilling, etc. The problem here is not the video part, because the video is only going to be, maybe a few thousand backers will try their hand at it, etc., if they can even get a hold of one. The problem is the keywords of whoever sits in that pilot seat long enough gets to keep an Idris-M. They get awarded an Idris-M. So people have argued that streamers and larger organizations have an initiative there. So after the mission is over, we've captured the Idris-M from the CIG or AI crew on board, and players are just running around with an Idris-M for how fun is this? No one's going to go bring that Idris-M back to civilization and just tell you, hey, come on over here, check it out, come land and check out this cool ship, which is what a lot of people want. A lot of people just want to see the ship. And because this is a pure combat event, and then you've given an incentive to take out the player that's sitting in the pilot seat and try to sit there yourself, large organizations, and some people would argue streamers or other content creators, may attempt to garner enough people to hold on to an Idris-M. And you're probably saying, well, wait a minute, that might not be plausible. Well, the thing is, when these things do spawn, everyone's talking to each other, and the server gets jam-packed over 100 players instantly. So I've had a couple people I've talked with on audio and on chat, and they've said that these servers are just packed to the gills ASAP, and so you don't have a chance. A random one-off person has a very, very low chance. You would have to pretty much be on the server already, unless you had a friend who gave you a heads up. So, and then once you're there is going to be a large block of players that will pretty much just kill any other player that gets nearby once you can board. So once they've fought their way inside, they'll have Overwatch that's literally just a fully crewed hammerhead or something that's just killing anything that moves that isn't their friends. So in theory, right? So the problem here is kind of twofold. One, there's only a couple Idris-Ms available. And two, there is massive incentives for people not to play nice with each other that aren't friends of friends. And I've always argued on here in all my videos that you should work your way into a large organization that's in your same time zone that you kind of click with. You don't have to constantly be with them, but being affiliated with them is not a bad idea. And you kind of choose your own level of involvement. Some orgs require you to be on 3 times a week and be on voice comms, every time on Discord or whatever they use. And then there's other orgs that are like, yeah, we kind of log in occasionally for fun at an event, and you can pick your own. I recommend that second group if you're a solo player, but you shouldn't have to join an org to have a chance at one of these events. And yes, somebody who's a loner can probably get a chance of getting that 10-second clip, especially if it's funny. I mean, all you have to do is just record your experience when you're there, even just use instant replay if you're using a video, for example, that just you can choose to save the last 5-10 minutes of whatever you're doing and just have that B-roll of you running around the Idris or flying around the Idris, and then just add something comedy over the top or commentary over the top or something different. That's probably going to win, honestly. Good chance anyway. But the second prize pool is basically impossible for anybody who doesn't have a group. I mean, there may be one person who can somehow sneak their way onto the Idris, not get killed when every other single player gets killed, and hold the bridge, and then just keep moving and moving and moving, and just keep quantuming away and quantuming away and quantuming away, and nobody shows up with a mantis to hold them down, and not even a tiny little group of players even attempt to try to take it off them or come on board. Because remember, you're one player. It maybe got some NPC turrets that are still going to fire. It's hard to say. And yeah, you got the size 10 weapon, but you got to spin that thing to actually hit somebody. And good luck hitting a mantis with it. So yeah, there's also some interesting side things. So one-off accounts I've heard is that a reclaimer did not get one hit by the size 10. But there was also discussion about how long did you charge the weaponry, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a few other interesting thoughts that people have had. But in general, the Idris-M is something special for the entire community. I know there's some owners that are very frustrated right now because they can't even get to see their ship. They can't spawn it, of course, and then they can't even go see it because there's so few. And it brings up an interesting point. So in the Capture the Idris video contest and Spectrum post, in general, I asked them to please put an Idris-M on Armistice, in an Armistice zone, in Arma, as I wrote, and allow us to just check it out. They could, write whatever way they want, but just have it as a static ship that you can't fly. Because to me, having an all combat event of a brand new ship that's finally being allowed to be seen in all its glory, and you're only going to get to see it all blown to pieces and shot up, and everybody's, things are all laying all over the ground and stuff, and you yourself are actually in danger the whole time you're on there. Sounds fun once in a while, but at the end of the day, exploration gameplay, non-combat players, what they really want to see is just want to kind of see the ship, when it's normal. So yeah. If you do attempt to do the video contest, do remember that they're giving bonus points for the ship in Idris interior, and that includes the inside the hangar. If I was you, I would fly into the hangar and then just not leave your ship for a bit while you're recording, because the minute you get out, you're a lot more of a target, unfortunately. The player characters can't take as much damage as a ship with its shields up. And do bear in mind that there are air shields on an Idris in the hangar, although I don't want to be the first one to test them. I wish that this video tonight was me on Saturday night. I'm recording this, so the second day of the event. I really, which was pushed back. It was supposed to start on Thursday, but it ended up getting set up on Friday. I really wish this was a video of me being able to put B-roll over the top of this, of the Idris-M and my maybe at least one hilarious attempt of getting on board and seeing how the action's going out there and how the event's really playing. But I've got nothing. I've got snake eyes. And the frustration here is I've been on many active servers. And the only advice I can offer you is try to find a server that's pretty full but has good server FPS. If people said that the Idris-M spawned recently and it's gone, jump servers immediately. Talk to your friends. Start hitting your orgs if you're a part of any. And don't be afraid to jump clusters. Although I'm giving you advice from a perspective of it's not working out for me. And I hope that CIG can step in at some point. In the past, when an event has failed this badly, what CIG tends to do is push the event into a longer period. I would not be shocked if this entries and the event and everything else is either revamped or just extended at the very least all through next week. I would not be shocked. And honestly, I would be shocked more so if they didn't do that because of how terrible this was. And I would strongly suspect that we'll magically see a bunch of Idris-M starting to fly around on Monday, because that's when CIG's back to full force with their staffing. And they're not on a skeleton crew of the weekend. So as it stands right now, don't forget your videos need to be in by Wednesday, March 6th at midnight that night. So 11:59 Pacific, 7:59 UTC on Thursday, technically. But what I'm going to tell you right now is that I strongly believe this will at the very least get pushed to at least Friday. Links to the event are in the description below. This is what I got. And yeah, maybe this saved you a little bit of time going into game and being disappointed. I would suggest if you're going to play it this weekend, just be pleasantly surprised if an Idris shows up, and play with your friends, playing around, playing the game, but like not just to come in to see an Idris-M and fight it and stuff. All right, that's all I got.